This is breaking news. Russia's invaded Ukraine, and our children think we're idiots. I mean, humanity's children. Wars seem stale. They reek of a time that should be behind us. The children and our children's children know. They live in a new world, new languages, new currencies, and new universes. Don't get me wrong, they love a good battle, even a good war. But it usually ends with some shit talking and a rematch of Call of Duty at 2 a.m., sitting in underwear with stale Doritos. They think we're idiots. Somehow we still think it's okay to bomb each other, to attack each other, and to use weapons of mass destruction against each other. This is archaic. Our children think we are idiots. They are not us. If you thought you looked like a moron wearing one of these, well, wait till you have to wear one of these. Our children think we're idiots. Breaking news.
What's up, people? Welcome back to the BCMA podcast. That's the Black Clover Martial Arts podcast. It's your boy, Lucky from Lucky's Muay Thai. This is episode number 53. I was drinking grapefruit juice and now my mouth is watering. In this episode, we're going to talk a little bit about changes and some things that have happened over the last few weeks that have completely changed my life and lifestyle. But before we get into that, if you like the show, keep the like, hit the subscribe button, tell a friend. If you want to stop by the gym, hit us up at www.luckysmt.com. We are there for your Muay Thai training pleasure. We have morning classes back again at 7 a.m. and Jiu-Jitsu is now available through Carrero BJJ. You can hit him up at Carrero BJJ on Instagram, and his website is carrerobjj.com. I'll tell you more about that as we get into the show. But again, if you want to stop by the gym, now we got a few more things available to you, and it's still just one big happy family. I hope that you can swing by and grow with us. www.luckysmt.com. Can't wait to meet you. Swing by. Okay, so over the last few weeks, I've had to make a few changes. There was a couple of things. First of all, shout out to Sensei Jorge Pereira. I've been doing jiu-jitsu with him for about 8 years. It was off and on the last few years, but it was really steady for at least the first 4 or 5. But I had to leave. It was out of necessity for my own gym, as I'm trying to really spend the next few months just grinding and growing. My partner is back to a 9 to 5, which he was doing prior to the pandemic. And we've gotten supremely busy, but now I want the mornings to get busy. I want to add some times to the hours that we didn't have times. So that led me to switching gyms, and I'll explain. A couple of months ago, a friend of ours recommended Roberto Carrero to do jiu-jitsu because he had been doing some jiu-jitsu and he didn't have a place to teach necessarily. So, we decided to rent him the times where he needed to rent. So it was great for us. A couple extra bucks in the pocket for the gym, which is great. And also it provided, some people an opportunity and a space to do jiu-jitsu the way they really wanted to do it, which I always think is dope. At that time, I was still driving down to see Sensei Pereira on South Beach. So me leaving the gym, it took, 35, 40 minutes to get down there. And it just was a lot for me to go from spending, 5-6 hours at work to down there for another hour and whatever. It's 2 to 3 hours in travel time and all these different things. So I decided to make some changes. Sensei Carrero teaches jiu-jitsu at 6 a.m. And we used to have a 7 a.m. Muay Thai class. And it just so happened that people had been asking me about the 7 a.m. Muay Thai class, if it was coming back, where was it, are we going to do it again, etc. and so on. So I decided that I was going to switch my life. I was going to start waking up at 5 to be at jiu-jitsu at 6 and to start teaching the early morning Muay Thai at 7 a.m. on Tuesdays and Thursdays. this was maybe one of the best decisions I've ever made in my life for a couple of reasons. The jiu-jitsu is fantastic. It's different than what I've been doing. I've been doing a lot of traditional self-defense, smash and pass and, very hardcore old school jiu-jitsu for so many years. But I've forgotten that prior to that, I did 3 years of no-gi. So, my techniques I'd forgotten about leg locks. I'd forgotten about certain things that were available to me because I just hadn't done those things in so long. And I'm genuinely having fun again, really just going over and learning new techniques and things that are more prevalent in today's jiu-jitsu society. And I think that I've been so lucky to learn from the jiu-jitsu instructors I have. I had Troy Wah, who I trained under for 3 years in no-gi, and he was an ADCC ref. I think he may still be, I don't know. But he also fought there. And then obviously Jorge Pereira, and now, Carrero BJJ, and this has been a fantastic change. Adding the 7 a.m. class right after that has kept me super energized and focused, renewed, like all these different things. I feel reinvigorated. Like the 7 a.m. class, I am super hyped for because I just left this jiu-jitsu class, which woke me up for the day. And I hope that, they can feel it. They definitely look like they feel it. I'll just leave it at that. Anyway, that's been a lot of fun. And I hope that maybe, making changes in your life, even small, subtle ones or big ones. I'm not used to getting up at 5 a.m. Come on. I had to do 1 week just getting up to see if I could go to the class and make it through the class before I could even start to see if I could teach the class after. But I decided to do that, and it's really changed. Everything's really changed. I feel very, very fortunate to have jiu-jitsu at my gym now. And an opportunity to learn right there. So I don't feel so much pressure to have to try to make it because it's so far away, and then I have to try to get back to my family and all these other things. It was supremely difficult for this last year because I wanted it so bad that I was making those sacrifices to really try to go. But that being said, I'm loving this now, and it's helped me so much in my mindset that I just recommend that you just do something drastic, change something hardcore. I wouldn't say do this all the time, as if you have a girlfriend or a boyfriend, they may be freaked out by whatever changes that you're making. But for me personally, waking up at 5 a.m., making that drive, and it feels like I've accomplished things early in the day. And now I understand more what that was about for, so many different people, obviously. Now, has it messed up my sleep schedule? A little bit, because I don't do it every day. So I'm having these things where the days that I don't go to jiu-jitsu, I'm still waking up at like 5:30. It's kind of weird. Don't really like it because then I got to try to coerce myself to go back to sleep. Anyway, try it, man. Make a big change. All that being said, I want to lead into this a little bit. Oh, also, changing jiu-jitsu gyms was interesting because there was never a thing in my mind where I'd be considered créance, even though I know that's really an old school thing. And that means like you are a traitor because you left your gym. But it felt really unnerving at first for a while thinking about that. And, I'm just glad that I did what I did because it was necessary. And man, I love Sensei Pereira, and I'm loving what I'm learning now, and I cannot wait for the future. So all of that being said, the waking up at 6 a.m. required a whole lot of things, right? Some energy to be able to do it and so forth and so on. And I always looked at things. I tell people all the time, you never know how somebody's going to motivate you. And a long time ago, a buddy of mine that I used to work with, Justin Lopez, had posted a picture that he was in the early morning, jiu-jitsu at, I think it was Gracie Umeda. I think it's San Diego. I'm not even sure. But he was getting up early in the morning, going for his morning rolls and doing all this stuff. And I used to be like, man, I don't know how he's getting up at 5 or 6 or whatever it was. And I spoke about him just a couple of weeks ago when I was starting this whole process of getting up at 5 a.m. to go to these, because I talked about him seeing that he was doing that. And I was like, man, I don't know how to do it, but he did it. I think I'm going to take some motivation from that and do it and try to be more focused on what I'm trying to get accomplished And it just so happened that he committed suicide recently, just within the last couple of days. So rest in peace, obviously, Justin Lopez. Thank you for the motivation and the inspiration, which, like I say, you never know where it's going to come from, and you never know how you're going to affect people. That picture years ago motivated me to do something that I wasn't sure about a few weeks ago. It helped motivate me. So, I just want to take that and say that people out there that are going through these moments of life where you're feeling low, and that maybe your things are crushing you, you know what it is. That you're depressed and you're alone and you feel like you need something. You need someone. I feel for you. I know how hard it is to try to reach out. But if you have any inkling to do that, please do that. If you on the other side of that have any inclination that your friend or family member is struggling, please reach out. I don't know what else you can do. I know that reaching out is obviously not always enough. But I would say that it's necessary. And if you can do it, you should do it. My neighbor's dog is barking incessantly again. But anyway, as I was saying, rest in peace, Justin Lopez. Shout out to the family and all that. Take care of each other. Love one another. I say this all the time. I don't know if anybody's listening out there, but it's true. Take some time, hug each other, look at each other in the eyes, and tell each other that you love each other. Nobody's all right. I hear these things all the time about how everybody's surprised. I'm so surprised. I'm not surprised. I don't know a person that's not struggling in one way or the other. I don't know a person that's not having a hard time in one way or the other. The human life is basically built upon struggle most of the time. Internal, external. All I can say is take care of yourself. Try to be healthy. Try to do healthy things. Love one another. Reach out if you need help. And you are never alone. I'm going to put up something for suicide awareness, I think, right here. Suicide hotline. And on that note, again, try to make some changes in your life. It'll help. If you like the show, keep the like, hit the subscribe button, tell a friend. There's more stuff coming up. Maybe some interviews. If you want to stop by the gym, www.luckysmt.com. We'll be happy to provide you with Muay Thai and now BJJ with Carrero BJJ. You can hit him up at Carrero BJJ on Instagram. Hit us up at Lucky's Muay Thai on Instagram. I love y'all. I'm out. I'm done. Next week. Peace.